Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I am in the book shack. It's cooler, slightly cooler. I've been melting this week. It's been hideous. It was like 30 degrees yesterday. Today, look at this. The book shack weather station says 22.4, and it's meant to be cooler tomorrow as well. This is good. I don't like extremely hot weather, especially when it's so muggy. Anyway, it's Sunday. I'm going to do my weekly reading wrap up. But first of all, I am going to do a very short book haul because I went to the Oxfam bookshop in the week. Phil and I were in town, so I didn't buy very many, but the ones I got I'm very pleased with. First up, John Steinbeck. The Acts of King Arthur and His Noble Knights. This, I think, was the only book of his that I didn't have either in physical copy or in electronic copy, so I am very pleased with this. Then, I have been wanting to reread this forever, and in this form, it does count as one of the big books of summer. The Earthsea Trilogy by Ursula Le Guin, and I've just had a quick flick through, and it's got a very nice postcard in it. The blue Atlantic looking west from Omey Island, Connemara, County Galway, Ireland. Pretty. Finally, I know nothing about this book and I know nothing about this author, but I loved this cover. How fabulous is that? This is Under the Volcano by Malcolm Lowry. It is a Faustian masterpiece, according to Anthony Burgess. It is a Penguin modern classic, and it says it's the fiesta day of death in Mexico, and Jeffrey Fermin, consul, ex-husband, an alcoholic and a ruined man, is living out the last day of his life. Drowning himself in mezcal while his former wife and half-brother look on, powerless to help him, the consul has become an enduring tragic figure. His story, the image of one man's agonized journey towards Calvary, became a prophetic book for a whole generation. And the cover is Day of the Dead City Fiesta by Diego Rivera. And it's fabulous. I absolutely love the cover. Right, to reading. I haven't actually read that much this week, but I have read some things. Oh, we'll go with another purchase first. Let's go to the cover of this. Some people have been talking about B.M. Bauer. I think Gavin at Genre Books and Greg at Ghost Readers in the Sky. And I found this, I paid 76p for this on Kindle. The B.M. Bauer Mega Pack, 42 classic westerns. And I am currently reading Flying U Ranch. I'm not very far into it, but I am enjoying it very much. So that wasn't one that I finished, but it was a purchase, even if it was only 76p. So the first thing I actually completed this week was Finnegans Wake. And when I say completed, I listened to the entire audiobook, which I finished a couple of weeks ago. And then I read the passages that Roy had suggested that we read. And there's a group of us, including most of the Ulysses 6 and I think there's 15 of us. Other people have joined in, booktubers and subscribers and commenters, and it's been lovely. Roy at Roy Reads Anything had set this up. I wasn't sure about it. When I first started reading it, genuinely, I didn't understand a word. Now, normally at this point, I would put a book down. I do not want to have to kill myself to either understand or enjoy a book. Bizarrely, this book I found I could enjoy without necessarily understanding it. Now, if you follow Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and it's highly likely that you do, she did a wonderful video in the week about Finnegans Wake and her thoughts about it, where James Joyce wrote about a day in Ulysses. In Finnegans Wake, he's writing about a night. The book is, well, it starts off strangely. It begins in the middle of a sentence. It ends in the middle of a sentence. It ends in the middle of the sentence that the book begins with. A lot of it is dreamlike, because it's nighttime and we're dreaming. The characters in it transform into other people or beings or things during the course of varying dreams. But I've said before in the process of reading this, it is so musical and lyrical. I love James Joyce's crazy linguistics. I mean, in some places he smashes words together. In other ones, he just makes them up completely. There's lots of rhyming, and I really enjoyed this book. It is something I am likely to read again. It is certainly something I shall listen to it again, because I have to admit, I enjoyed the audiobook marginally more than I enjoyed reading the words. But I thought it was brilliant. So thank you, Roy, for organising such a great event. Right, what else have I read? Where is my library on here? It is still Pride Month. So one of the first things I read this week, and this one was from beginning to end, I wasn't midway through it, Great LGBTQ Speeches, put together by Uglow. This was fascinating and covered a huge time period. The first speech was Karl Heinrich Ulrich in 1867. And we go through to Munro Bergdorf in 2019. These are varied. They tend to be excerpts of the speeches rather than the full speeches. Some of them are campaigning. Some of them are trying to educate people. There's so many interesting people in here from all around the world. Audre Lorde, Harvey Milk, Sir Ian McKellen, Justice Michael Kirby, Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum, Hillary Clinton, George Takei, all sorts of people, Barack Obama, Sir Elton John, Loretta Lynch, Senator Penny Wong, just fascinating, really interesting, and a great one to read this month. I think. Finally, completion-wise, Gordon Bennett and the first yacht race across the Atlantic. This is by Sam Jefferson. This was published in 2016, and I read this for a summer of sport. Sam Jefferson is a journalist and an author. He has written extensively for sailing magazines. He is also one of the leading authorities, apparently, on the clipper ship era. And he has also written, he's the author of Clipper Ships and the Golden Age of Sail and Sea Fever, neither of which I've read. I found this a while ago in a second-hand bookshop and thought it looked interesting. This is 1866, this starts, and three rich kids, rich men, more money than sense, spend most of their time being drunk, one of whom is called James Gordon Bennett, decide to, they're arguing, they're drunk, they're in a men's club, they're arguing about who owns the fastest boat. And although they have sailed against each other around very small parts of the coastline, they feel the only way to determine which of their boats is the fastest is to race across the Atlantic. So they agree to do it, and they bet on it, and they each bet £30,000. Now, in this book, it tells you that, to put that into some sort of perspective, your average farm worker at the time would be earning $10 a month. I said pounds, didn't I? I meant dollars. Your average farm worker would be earning $10 a month. And these three guys, in a drunken stupor, bet $30,000 each on the speed of their boat. And they decide to leave from New York in December. Rather than wait until the weather is going to be fairer, they leave in December. James Gordon Bennett is the son of another Gordon Bennett, who was the owner. In fact, he launched and ran the New York Herald, made a fortune, and it was a real flea-bitten rag. It dealt in gossip mongering and I suppose people might yell fake news at it these days. Young Gordon Bennett had never had to work a day in his life. He used to go and sit at his father's office. But this is the story of this transatlantic race and bet. James Gordon Bennett actually was on his ship, his boat, his clipper. In fact, there's a picture of it in here somewhere. This is a painting of the three leaving New York Harbor. Looks amazing. I love sailing. James Gordon Bennett was the only one who was actually on his boat. The other two decided they would just sit at home and put someone else on the boat for them. They each employed a crew. Although they sailed, I don't think they were confident enough to do this on their own. So they hired a professional crew. Each ship had judges on there, and the other two ships had a proxy for the owner to see that fair play was done. Now, this wasn't the most successful voyage, and there were incidents. I'm not going to tell you what they were because that would spoil it. But Sam Jefferson's writing of this I thought was excellent. I liked his journalistic style, particularly for a factual book. It includes a lot of history about the times and also about newspapers, all of which I loved, obviously being a former journalist, and so really enjoyed this, really enjoyed it. So that's it for books finished. I am currently midway through some other westerns for June on the Range. So I am reading the fourth Larry and Stitch book, and for the life of me I can't remember what it's called. The other thing I did purchase this week, which was also less than 80 pence, is this Zane Grey Mega Pack, 42 classic novels and short stories, and I am currently reading Desert Gold from 1913. So, lots of things to finish up over the next couple of days. I have a busy week ahead of me. I'm at a conference, like a business conference thing on Wednesday all day. I haven't been to one of those for a very long time. And the lovely Dave Brzezinski and Jilly Paddock are coming to visit tomorrow, Monday. Next weekend, I'm off down to look after the grandson. And I haven't seen him for a while, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to get done this week, but I'll try. I will try. Oh, breaking news. I don't like to look at it. I don't know why I have breaking news alerts on my iPad, because they're not fun at the moment. Anyway, less of that, more of the reading. I hope you've had a lovely week. I hope you've been reading loads of stuff. And let me know in the comments below. I shall catch up with you sometime this week. I'm definitely going to do a Tag Tuesday this week. Definitely. May even do it on Tuesday. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for popping by. It's always lovely to see you, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.